Shit, what's this podcast called?
Discourse of Human Events.
The discourse is just crazy.
Everything's okay, I'm just trying to act my age. Yeah, I wanna know where the hell the days go. Yeah, I wanna know where the hell the days go. I wanna look.
One, two, three.
That's right.
Let me go to your stream.
Alright, you got it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Today we shall be...
You gotta zoom in, man.
I was going to. We're gonna be writing our time travel movie ideas. So this started in last podcast where we had the idea of people from the 1900, like one person from every decade, from 1900 to 2020, right? So it's 12 people.
Mm-hmm.
So let me get that in here. So we got 1900 all the way to 2020. What are we gonna call it? The dozen, something dozen, or 12? You know.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't have anything off the top of my head that I would say is fun.
So, what do we want to start? Do we want to pick like what kind of characters we would have from each decade?
I would say, like, why are they doing this?
That was the other thing I was trying to think of is like, how did this happen? How did these people come together?
They've angered the Fae.
The Fae.
It could be something like Hot Tub Time Machine where it's really ridiculous.
Like something really stupid. Yeah, because we wanted this to be a comedy, right? So that works.
Yeah, I was thinking something more like government, like what's Idiocracy, but I think it's funnier if it's something really fucking stupid.
Right.
I was going to say, I did read a book where there was an angry fairy and they made people time travel. Out of spite.
What would be dumber than a well, you can't even do like a hot tub though, because we have to have how would a person from the 1900, right? Mm-hmm. Could it be a car, like an old Model T?
Model T time machine.
Model T time machine.
I kind of like that. It flows.
I was thinking it'd be like an outhouse they all fall into.
Oh my god, that's actually pretty hilarious.
You sit on the toilet in the outhouse, it drags you to another time.
Do your butt.
Like a bowling ball. Like that.
Honestly, I think an outhouse might be the best idea.
Yeah, so you could be like present day, some guy in a construction site is looking around and he can't find anything until he sees this really old one.
Right.
With the moon door.
Where are they, like, is this all, like, simultaneously they fall into this pit and they end up in the same spot? Like, where does this go?
Yeah, that's a good question.
You see what I mean? Like, they fall into a pit. Where are they at now?
You gotta show them all getting dragged through space like this.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. If they go through a outhouse, we have to show them getting dragged through space, but like little turds flying next to them and stuff.
Yeah. Perfect. But here's what I was gonna say. Okay. So 2020 is present day, so that guy doesn't need to travel, right?
Are they all going to the future or to the past? That depends.
I'd say the future, but
to 2030.
I mean, the future probably.
Let me give you the idea.
Oh, okay. Give me your elevator pitch.
The guy in 2020 is decommissioning this outhouse that, they finally got the...
Is it an outhouse still, or is it like in 2020 like a hole that he's...
No, it's got to be the outhouse, because the neighbors got like some sort of order to decommission it.
Okay.
Like that. And then at the exact moment he has
to dookie?
It's like linked to
one
particular day in 1910.
Opening scene, he eats some Taco Bell, right? You get Taco Bell as a sponsor. He's eating Taco Bell. He's at the place he needs to decommission. So we already said it, and he's got the diarrhea coming.
Gas.
So keep going.
Okay. No, that's all I had. So then they all wind up in 2020, right?
Okay.
So everyone time travels to him. He doesn't time travel.
Okay. So we're assuming then it would be like essentially they're all time traveling to the same place. Like it's all the same time.
You can't get them all in the same room otherwise.
Different decade.
Right?
Yeah. So are they going to be in an outhouse, or just outside where they all time travel together?
They all slowly bloop, bloop, bin.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they gotta poop out of the outhouse, like, you know.
One at a time, like they slowly start.
Yeah.
Does he go? Okay. Here's a gag we could have for the opener. He goes to open the outhouse, and a guy comes out from the 1900, right? But he's got really shit, so he's like, even though this is a wacky thing, like a 1900s guy comes out of the outhouse, he's like, I still got a shit, and he goes to try to use it again. Guy from the 1910s comes out, and he's still got a shit. It's like real wacky. Why are two people just coming out of this outhouse? So he's got to go back in. But then another guy comes out, and so on and so forth, until we're at like 11 guys that have just popped out of this outhouse.
Some of them could be women.
Or women.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Some of them should be women, honestly, because it's gonna.
So where is this outhouse? Is it like in a house, like the backyard or something?
I would think so. That's like kind of how outhouses are, right?
Like a country house, a few acres, like a farm.
So a lot of them have to be the same, like family members or neighbors or what?
They're all just people who've lived on that property, right?
Yeah.
Not necessarily relatives, just people who've all lived on the property.
And the property's now like abandoned, so they're gonna just like tear it all down and build condos or apartments for millennials.
Is it funnier if it's a construction worker or just some average Joe who bought the place and needs to shit and he's about to tear this place down?
Well, I was thinking construction worker because it could be at a construction site, but then otherwise,
who else would eat like terrible Taco Bell gas?
Well, I just feel like it's just a regular dude just doing housework in his backyard. He bought this house. You know, it's an outhouse because it's going to be way weirder to be in a construction site.
I don't even think so, because the guy would already have the house.
It changes hands a lot.
What's that?
The house is cursed, so it changes hands a lot. So
yeah, it's the curse.
Oh my god, and they have to help them lift the curse or get rid of whatever's cursed in the house.
To all travel, they all have to dive back through the outhouse.
Yeah, that's going to explain the time travel.
There's an angry spirit.
There's a curse. I like it.
Tired of people pooping on their land.
Could we do a dogma? It's an angry shit spirit.
Oh my god.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, hold on. I'll go to the same outhouse.
Okay. We need to a starting incident. So some reason that the house gets cursed for 120 years. There it is. That's why it all happens.
Okay, well, what if all of the past owners from all these other decades have treated the house really well, and then this new person comes around and they treat the house like shit. So now the spirit's angry. So now
he's doing
all past owners.
Oh, it's pulling people from the past because of the current owner.
Yeah.
Okay.
What could it be? It has to be something really fucking stupid. 2020. He's on his phone every time he goes to the shitter, and maybe it's the spirit is a picture there or something that everyone else who's ever shat there has looked at him and admired it, but this guy's always on his phone, so he doesn't give a shit about the picture. So this guy wants to haunt him.
I don't know.
That was the first thing I thought of, and it was so stupid I thought it was funny.
Maybe they take out the real hardwood floors and replace them. So now the spirit's angry or something, like people do all the time.
You got anything dumber than our idea so far?
No, I'd stick with the picture of the guy that's haunting it. The guy that built the outhouse.
Okay.
Oh, okay. And he died in the house. And there's a picture.
He died on the outhouse. He died shitting Elvis style.
Had a heart attack.
Yeah.
So you got to show him dying, and then you kind of do one of those fast forward things where it shows all the people living there, and then it gets to the current time of the dude that took the house over, and it should show him doing several offenses to the house, so you can't really tell why the house is mad.
No,
until they figure it out.
I see what you're saying, because that's kind of the mystery. If we give away the mystery of this, it wouldn't be as funny, right?
Because when they're finally able to contact the spirit, through they finally get a Ouija board or something, and they're all doing the planchette, and it has to talk about the picture, and it's
that could just be one of those things. He's always on his phone, not looking at the portrait of the guy who built it.
Or he takes it down or something.
Yes.
I think the portrait should be a picture of the guy doing the first shit in the outhouse.
Oh my god, yes, it should be.
Maybe not actually doing that.
No, it's a comedy. That's perfect.
I was just going to say him next to the outhouse, or on the toilet thumbs up style.
Yeah, whatever. He's on the shitter. I thought he was just like, pushing a hard.
That's what I.
For the very first.
It's almost too silly for him to be actually shitting in the picture.
Alright, I'm hungry. I haven't eaten in like several hours, so I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna eat.
She's already done with this spot.
What? No, I'm just hungry.
Okay, so new guy's taking it down, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, how would we, like, opening sequence? What do we? It's the. Let's just go opening.
Opening scene.
Opening. Average. We're just gonna call him Average Joe right now. Average Joe buys house.
Mm-hmm. So just signing papers montage and moving into the home, moving out, moving van, whatever.
Like very quick montage of clearly a guy bought him house. Okay. Does he have a wife? Do we care about that right now?
No, it totally
this character can be built. Dude. Yeah, I think single dude.
A man with a wife would never disrespect the house.
Because there's just going to be a bunch of one person per decade. If there's a wife or whatever, then
it ruins the whole.
Then they got overrepresented for this decade.
This is true. All right, so he buys the house, signing papers montage, moving vans, boxes, single dude. Do we show him using outhouse, ignoring portrait, clearly showing portrait in frame though?
Mm-hmm.
So and we see the portrait in frame. It's gonna stick out. It's clearly a guy's just shitting or sitting on a shitter.
Okay. It shouldn't just be like. Oh.
It's gonna be an oldie photo too, right?
Well, did they
you should show
in the 1900s?
Yeah. Everyone from every decade buying the house and taking a shit in it. Right?
Yeah, we should, right? Like, that should be the opener.
Yeah.
He should be after everybody else has, like, a montage. It should be the opener montage is, like, every decade up leading to him of people using the outhouse.
Mm.
And every time they use it, they look at the picture and have a chuckle.
Mm-hmm.
Or like they're with friends and family in the outhouse, just having a good time. Where like that's like the center frame, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why would they be in a house with friends and family?
Yeah.
Have you not? That's what's funny about it. Is why are they in the outhouse with other people having a good time?
Well, it wouldn't fit other people. Is what I'm trying to say.
Hello?
Yeah. You didn't hear us?
No, you cut out.
Nicole is saying, why in the hell would they be celebrating with friends and family? I'm in the opinion of, especially like a couple of the early ones, like people would use the restroom together.
But an outhouse doesn't
As a
fit
joke.
more than one person.
No,
How big is this outhouse?
Just one. This is the normal moon door outhouse.
Okay, we're talking very stereotypical one hole, like a porta potty size.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what you're thinking of.
Well, outhouses aren't that tiny, like actual ones.
Like old-fashioned ones with the moon door, right? Which is what it would have had to have been to go back to 1900.
Let me see what an old outhouse looks like.
I'm gonna tell you, it's gonna be that thin.
It is pretty thin. You're right.
Yeah, it's just like a shed.
He was talking about the moon.
Shed is even like a they are actually pretty fucking tiny.
They're to fit
you.
Like,
why would you think there's multiple people in there?
Alright. Okay, so montage of people shitting on here, having a chuckle at the guy that built it. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Alright. And then we cut to what previously we said would be him getting it, not having any chuckles. Right? Ignoring. Then we have him go to Taco Bell.
He goes to Taco Bell before, right?
No, well, because we need him. We need the montage of him going, like cleaning, like moving, right? And then we need
he's moved in.
We need the first montage of him pooping and ignoring it, and the second time he goes there, he clearly has to use it, and that's when everyone starts popping out of it.
Why does it have to be the second time? So
because we have to show that he's ignoring the picture the first time.
Maybe we show it.
No, he's going to ignore the second time. And then the ghost says, I'm tired of these people using my toilet and disrespecting my outhouse or something, whatever. And he yanks him.
Well, no, because the average Joe doesn't get yanked.
Yeah, well, it doesn't really make any sense, any of it.
But here's what I'm saying, is the average Joe guy, the first time he uses the outhouse, he ignores it. And then the second time is when all the people are coming out of it. So we have to have a first time look of him completely ignoring it and disrespecting it.
Why? You could just do it the second time. That doesn't make...
Well, how is he going to use it a second time? The second time is when all the people appear.
I think we should...
Are you saying immediately he disrespects the outhouse and people just start appearing?
Okay. I guess I get where you're going.
Yeah. I'm saying we need to show that he disrespects the outhouse, and the next time he goes to use it, that's when the curse is.
I feel like he should also say something about getting rid of the outhouse and doing indoor plumbing.
I thought the reason the reason he brings all the other ones to the present time is to get them to stop that guy from tearing it down.
Yes, so that's what I'm saying is the first time we have to show him ignoring it, not caring, and then we have to show him that he's going to tear it down. That's when he gets Taco Bell, and he goes to use it, and people just start popping out of it. You see what I'm saying?
Okay, I got
You gotta get the Doritos.
Okay, so after we show him disrespecting it to begin with, then we need to show him wanting to tear it down and get rid of it. Maybe it gets like splinters in his ass and stuff like that.
I think you don't need a reason in 2020 to want to get rid of an outhouse in your backyard.
I'm just saying. I was just trying to add.
Spiders are common in outhouses too.
I think on the way out he'd glance at the photo and say, "Finally gonna get rid of this outhouse, then fucker." Or
I like it.
Like that, you know.
Maybe the first time using it, he actually takes the photo down.
Calls it like weird.
How about that? That sound good? He mentions taking it down or getting rid of it, or actually does take it down.
Oh, wait. Okay. I got something that really the very beginning, though.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It should be that guy finishing the outhouse, right?
Oh, the builder.
This guy. Yeah. Okay. He just finishes it.
Mm-hmm.
And he tells him he tells a friend like he's so proud of it. It's the only thing he's ever built with his own two hands, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he asks him to take this photograph. And that's where it is, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And then he dies on the shitter, right? So now,
his legacy is tied to this.
Yeah, it's his legacy. So they'll always be remembered. And now it's gonna be torn down.
I like it. I like this. Okay. The guy's name is clearly John.
He's got to tell the guy that's taking the photo, like, promise me you'll never get rid of her. It's got to be like his son or somebody that would inherit.
Right.
Brother, something like that.
Okay. Awesome. Alright. So, this guy summons essentially 11 people from the past who have used it and appreciated this outhouse.
Mm-hmm.
Now I gotta think, what are the funny characters we can throw at him? Because they're confused too. Why are they like, it's not like they know.
Why they went there?
Mm-hmm.
Well, the first guy could be the camera guy.
He's the 1900 guy. That's a good one. John is definitely the guy who built the thing. We need a good last name for him, like Turtison or something. Not too obvious, but something like that.
That's really obvious.
Oh. So I said not that obvious, but like that.
No, it should be John Liu.
No, that's
Lou's bathroom.
That sounds like he's Asian.
It should be. I think his name should be Lou.
Lou John?
Lou John?
No. Ooh, hold on.
No, that makes sense. Like Lou, like Louis.
Lou Johnson. Louis Johnson.
Louis Johnson.
Okay.
I like it.
It's also a name for a penis, but okay.
Lou Johnson.
Johnson.
Which is still funny. Alright, so Lou Johnson builds this. His son name is John Johnson. Do we need any like characteristics? He's a photographer, right?
Mm-hmm.
Photographer from 1900. So he's old school. So he might like have funny things about cameras and stuff, right?
Sure. Yeah.
We're kind of getting away. Wasn't the original idea of you originally wanted to do this because it was about like
hold on. Drop my headphone.
People think they know everything, but they don't know shit, right?
I don't remember. I was really drunk.
Don't know shit.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Think about it. Don't know shit.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
So we can still. We just need to remember if we want to incorporate that actually on here.
Well, yeah, you could. I mean, I thought that would be the whole thing. Is people once the discussions talk.
Right. So what about 1910?
I feel like
1910.
we need a really distinguishing way to tell the differences between the decades, and I think that's why some of the characters have to be women, because it's just easier to differentiate between the decades.
It wouldn't be funny if we didn't have a mix of genders anyways, because there's going to be some funny things. I feel like in 2020,
the way we should go is all white men. Like, exclusively.
Actually, it'd be pretty funny to have a black man from one of these eras.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, we have to toe the line on the jokes we tell, but a black man from 1910 is going to be pretty funny to a black man from 2000, right?
Mm.
Oh, we should definitely do that.
Yeah.
No, but the black guy has to be from 2010.
Yeah, exactly. It has to be way different eras for them. Well, we could also have like a 60s era.
When they're just integrating the schools.
I would think 80s. I want somebody in MC Hammer pants.
I mean, that could be anybody.
Yeah.
Pants?
Well, let's.
I think that should be a really obnoxious white guy.
I say so. 1910, we actually do black man.
Okay. So, and he's gonna be so he sells his house to the black guy.
Yeah. He would be a servant probably, right? In 1910.
Yeah. So this is a really nice house.
For the era of 1900s, yes. 2020,
okay, sure,
probably not. Right?
Well, it would make more sense because you have to have 12 people in a fucking room together. That's got to have a really big room.
Right.
So it should be like a mansion. And so the guy at the beginning, it's the only thing he's ever built with his own two hands. That's why he's proud.
The mansion or the outhouse?
Yeah, the mansion. He didn't build the mansion
himself. Okay.
He's rich.
I see what you're saying. So Lou Johnson was a rich man who only built the outhouse. Only thing he's built with his own two hands. Bought
so he had to inherit his money.
What's that?
He had to inherit his money, and then you can make it from the gold rush for his time, right?
Yeah.
The 1849 gold rush.
There we go. Okay, cool. So black servant from 1910, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we got that. We can.
Because I know black culture of 1910 real well, so I can just write that stuff
There's
up.
There's one thing we're experts about.
This is going to be Wikipedia and Google right there. Did jazz exist in 1910? Tell me.
Is there somebody we can really even ask about 1910 black culture as a servant?
All right, what else? 1920.
Flapper woman?
That would be easy to tell.
What is it?
Flapper woman. It would be very stereotypical.
Okay, but so it's got to be like, so what would the guy in 1900 have put all his money in and lost it and had to sell the mansion?
In what year?
1900, that guy would have put all his money in something and then sold the house in 1920, right?
I see what you're saying.
Put all his money in, like, what became obsolete by 1920?
Horse carriages. Is that about that time?
I mean, depending on where we have it, he could sell the house and have moved out west for the gold rush.
No, that's 1849.
I think some people are still doing it later on.
You don't like horse carriages?
Hold on.
Like carriages?
Yeah, that's not a bad one because those would go obsolete, but not by 1920. I think people were still.
It's like it's getting close to that. It's about the wartime. That's about when that happened, right? World War One. They started a lot mechanized everything.
Okay, no. He would invest in like hot air balloons, right?
What year was that?
Oh, well, definitely by 1910, airplanes were starting to take off, right? In 1920,
No. I thought you were talking about like the Zeppelin, right? What you were?
The Hindenburg?
Yeah.
Let me see.
I thought that's why I thought you were going with that.
Around then?
He put all his money in the Hindenburg. Who could just say that? Period.
Oh no, that's so much later. 1937.
Was that 37? Dang, I thought that was like 20s.
Yeah, that's what I would have thought too. Okay. They went a lot longer than I thought. Okay.
What's stupider than hot air balloons? Because that's not that dumb. They actually did use hot air balloons in the war to drop bombs.
Yeah, but still, they had planes too.
Huh?
Okay, he just invest in Germany, I guess. I don't know.
Investing in Germany?
Yeah.
There's got to be something stupider that we're not thinking of.
What went out completely gone by the 1920s?
What was invented? What important inventions happened in the 1920s or 1910? Movies were coming out just then, right?
No, they would have been earlier. But I guess they would have started
They would really start to kick around the 20s, right?
But still, radio still went on.
But I'm not talking radio. What if he had like a flip book?
Theaters, flip books?
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about?
Oh, okay.
Not comics.
Yeah.
But literal flip books.
That's not a bad one. But then you would have known what moving pictures were at the time. Why would you buy that?
Because he invested before moving pictures. You see what I'm saying?
No, because they existed.
Oh, also he's a camera guy. That makes no sense.
1890s, yeah. So he should invest in. I had one. No, I lost it. See, in the 1920s.
What was invented?
You want me to pull it up?
Yeah, sure. I'm trying to think of like anti-inventions of electricity, but there's not much that I can think of.
He could have bought into big shares into the Titanic.
Okay,
right?
So there's
that's good.
7 big ones.
What's that?
I said there's 7 inventions of the 1920s that are in. Well, it's a historical museum that posted this, but the electric automatic traffic signal.
No, that doesn't.
Okay,
because we need the
I'm going through quick frozen food. So frozen foods got invented in the 1920s.
Well, we don't have an opposite for that either.
Band-Aids, water skis, electric blenders, cheeseburgers. Sunglasses.
No, I think Titanic works because that was what 1913.
Yeah, 1913, I think.
Oh, there's more.
So that.
So Titanic, we got it. He put all his money into the Titanic.
Well, the company that owns it, and he would be bragging about it.
And that makes
then he
sense
sells it to
because the audience members would know that's about the time, right? And it's a good joke,
right? And then he has to sell it to a bootlegger, right? So this lady is the wife of a bootlegger.
Who's this lady?
The 1920 woman.
Oh, the flat.
You want her to be.
So 1910 guy is a servant to the photographer guy.
Yeah.
Okay. Servant to photographer guy. I see.
So it could just be like a prostitute this mafia guy brings over.
What?
Because it's a bootlegger, right? Yeah. He's a bootlegger, like in the mafia in the 1920s.
The person they sell the house to, you're saying?
Yeah. And then that's the prostitute he has over.
And she has to go shit. That's funny. That's funny to have a prostitute go shit.
Yeah. Or a floozy, as they'd call him.
Person who bought house. Maybe we're flipping too much into stereotypes because our black man is a servant and then our first woman is a prostitute. Person who bought house was
I mean, it's a mafia guy. You could have it be his wife.
Yeah, or just a side piece, right?
Yeah. His what do they call it in The Sopranos?
Oh, dude, what do they call them?
Side girl.
What do they call?
Gumar. Gumar. That's it.
It's Gumar.
Gumar, something like that. Gumar.
I'll put Gumar and we'll know what it means. Alright, so Flapper, person who bought house was gangster. Mafia dude has side piece. His Gumar. He was able to buy it because dumbass bought Titanic company shares. And obviously we can get rid of this guy because he's a gangster and he just gets arrested.
He dies.
He dies or gets
arrested.
He
gets shot with a Tommy gun. Shot with a Tommy gun.
He can't die or he... Well, I guess the Flapper woman is the one.
Oh, he can get... Oh, no. Here it is. Okay. He gets Tommy gunned on the toilet, and there should be a few bullet holes in the back of the outhouse.
And was she on the toilet when she transfers, though?
Yeah, she was, but he still uses it. He doesn't know where she went. He has no idea.
Oh,
right? He just thinks the lady
because she goes to use it, and then he goes after.
Yeah.
Okay. I like that. Show some history of the outhouse as well. So 1930s come along. Who's buying it? It's hard to distinguish the 1920s and the 1930s.
1930s is... See,
that's tough because we're
Depression. No, it's the Depression. That's the...
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Okay, so it should be a hobo breaking in. Like, no one's living here. And he takes a shit.
I like it.
A hobo with the little bag thing.
A bindle?
Yeah.
Is there a funny way to show him going through there?
Going to take a shit?
Yeah. What? Because he's a homeless dude with a bindle. What could be funny about him? Like, I mean, it's kind of already kind of funny because he's a hobo with a bindle.
Okay. You know how they have those signs? Right?
Which ones?
Signals. They write with chalk?
What signs?
Okay, I guess you don't.
I don't know.
The hobos had, like, signs that they would leave to other hobos, like little signals that they would draw with chalk, like, this lady's nice and will give you free food.
Oh.
This is a safe place to sleep. Da. But there was, like, obscure. It was just like a symbol.
Mm-hmm.
So you could learn to read what they would pass messages.
Okay.
But if you have no idea, then most moviegoers will apparently not.
No.
Okay. I was going to have him leave a symbol for good shitter here.
We could do that, though.
Yeah. That's what I would put. Is like he talks to himself about leaving a signal for all the other hobos. Good shitter here. Let the other hobos know.
So he sees a sign, I think, for that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He reads the sign somebody else left.
Yeah. So he sees a sign for good shitter
Abandoned,
here, goes to take a shit, transfers it into the past. So I like that we have a hobo because he could be crazy too. A little wacky character.
Well, I mean, no, it's the Depression. Lots of normal people are hobos.
But this is a comedy, so if we're going to have a hobo, he should be a little wacky.
Okay. World War II.
So now we got World War II.
Guy ready to be shipped off?
Oh.
Or guy back from the war?
What's that?
Ready to be shipped off or back from the war?
Yeah. That's a good question. What's funnier? A PTSD guy or somebody who I think it's funnier if they're excited about the war still. And they don't realize all the...
And then the 1950s will know how it... And later we'll know how it turned
out. Right. Soldier excited to fight for America has to use outhouse before shipping out. Doesn't realize how bad war was. How many Hitler jokes do we have?
Probably a lot. 1940s guy is going to be 80% Hitler.
Well, this is American, so, like, at that time we weren't, like, necessarily, like...
Depends on what period of the war.
Right.
Just halfway through.
We didn't join till 42, right? What was it?
Something like that. It was later.
So what? He's not going to fight for America yet.
He's falling out.
Yeah, he's going to ship out.
But how's he going to ship out if we didn't start the war till 42? I guess it could be 1942. It could
be like 44, or like, he's going to go right before Hitler kills himself or something. We'll figure it out.
Right around 1942-ish.
Sure.
Okay. 1950s. What's funny about 1950s? Was that Elvis era? Or is that 60s? 70s?
That's 50s. Yeah, that's
50s?
50s. Elvis, and it's kind of the start of the Cold War.
Yeah, I feel like 80s is more.
Yeah, well, that went on for a good 30 years.
Yeah.
What should you really do with Elvis? And how did this soldier get into it? It's still an abandoned house?
Good question. No, I think it would be like his family, right?
It could just be an abandoned one still. Because it's hard to keep explaining people buying the house every 10 years.
Right, still abandoned. Okay, we'll say still abandoned.
For some reason he goes in to take this shit.
He's
going over to heading to the recruitment office.
He's driving to recruitment office. I like it.
He needs to take a shit, and he sees this abandoned house.
So he's not a soldier yet, technically.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that one. That's great.
Okay, 1950s, economy's recovered, so somebody buys the house again and renovates. And it would be who?
Do we need a female this time?
Yeah, but they're not really independent buying houses on their own until much later. So it still has to have...
oh, that's a good point.
A guy doing it, so somehow the woman's involved with the guy, right?
Right.
So this could be the housewife, right?
Yeah,
and the 1950s are associated with very stereotypical, traditional. So this is going to be the what did the guy be doing? Probably like car manufacturing.
Yeah.
So he's a manager of Ford.
Salesman.
Ford or something. Salesman. Executive salesman.
Executive salesman. Right. They all smoke. The housewife is on like antidepressants secretly.
Did they do that? I don't think they.
Was that not the 50s? What year was this?
You talking about like Quaaludes?
Yeah, Quaaludes. That was 60s, I think.
Yeah,
60s or 70s.
It's stereotypical. She could be drinking wine on the outhouse.
Yes, wine.
The outhouse.
She goes for a glass of wine.
And you know, it's more funny if it's more extreme.
What do you mean?
Like, they probably didn't have heroin, but if she was shooting heroin in the outhouse. Like, it starts out the scene as such a stereotypical little traditional wife, mom, and then
she goes to smoke crack
in the outhouse. But it can't be that, because I don't think 50s, they did that.
Yeah, it wasn't invented yet.
Wait, what about opium?
I don't know.
Opium?
It might have been. Yeah, I think it would have been opium.
Yeah.
But what's more hardcore than that?
What's more hardcore than opium in the 50s?
Yeah.
Heroin would be it, right? Like, she'd inject something.
I think that is basically opium, but...
Usually it was powdering your nose.
What's something that would be funny?
Yeah, what's funny? What's a funny drug for a 1950s housewife to do?
Well, let me look it up.
Sniff gasoline?
Oh, paint! Sniff paint!
Sniffing paint.
Sniffing paint's pretty funny.
Oh! They had prescription tranquilizers.
Oh, tranks, dude. Tranks.
So it was barbiturates and tranks.
I'm still leaning towards smelling paint.
Sniffing paint is still funnier, I'll give you that. Tranquilizers is just more historically accurate.
Or barbs.
We'll put sniffing paint or shooting tranks. We don't need the details necessarily right now.
You just gotta have a cigarette constantly.
Yeah, look. They all smoke. Nicole said she has to have a cigarette. I was like, oh, we already got that covered. 60s, we have to have a hippie, or would we do 70s for that?
No, I'd say 60s is a hippie. Like
hippie era.
Mid to late 60s. Yeah.
So, male hippie. Does he
know JFK got shot or not? Because then I don't think it's quite hippie yet.
What is it?
It depends on exactly when in the 60s.
Dude, meth was around in the 1950s. Meth is funny.
Yeah, she can do some meth.
Drugs are never funny.
I bet they're not calling it meth at that time.
It's probably methamphetamine.
And they were overprescribed.
Right, actually.
Yeah, it probably was called methamphetamine. They probably didn't shorten it to meth.
That said methamphetamine.
What's that?
Probably a bottle that actually would say methamphetamine.
Yeah, exactly. It probably just said the full word. So we could actually show that.
That's what she's got to do to keep that mansion clean.
Right. She has to snort. She could freebase it, dude.
Skinny for her
That's
husband.
funny. Freebase is the meth. Freebasing is pretty funny. When you have a 1950s housewife doing it. So Beatles Mania. Is that where we're going with hippie?
Sure. Real hippie dude.
Beatles mania, pot smoker, LSD, all the above.
Went to Woodstock, man.
You know, I just thought it would
That's
be
late
funny.
60s, though.
Yeah, too much info for them. C's 1950s chick has meth, is all about it.
You know what would be funny, though?
What?
Is if the guy from 2020, because all these people have all these specific drugs and things that they're on, he has to go and procure them, like the drugs and stuff for these people.
Because they're actually addicted?
Yeah, so he has to go and just, like, get wine, get barbiturates, get weed, get LSD, get meth.
Did you just get all this?
Here's a good one. Okay, the guy in 1900...
Like, they give him a grocery list of drugs.
No, the guy in 1900 drinks Coca-Cola, but it still has the cocaine in it.
Oh, so he's addicted to
that guy's got to give him Coca-Cola, and he's like, this used to have a kick.
Guy in 1900 upset that Coke doesn't have that cocaine kick anymore. Alright, so 1970 then. What's the differential between the 60s guy and the 70s guy? Because in my head, those like blend a lot.
No, it's definitely more drab. So 1960s is colorful. 1970s, people were in like brown colors, whatever.
Dude, what about the 60s was very anti-war, right? So we have to have that.
The 70s are too. I mean, Vietnam's still going on, right?
What's that?
Vietnam's still going on in 1970.
I'm talking about the 60s guy that was very anti-war.
Yeah.
70s guy could be like from the war afterwards. War vet, right?
Uh-huh.
We got some antagonism between the 60s and 70s guy.
That could be. Okay, how's he getting to the toilet? How did
these yeah. We didn't give the how's the hippie get in the toilet. They're just doing drugs in the mansion, right?
Yeah, so they gotta. Guy has to break into the mansion and do drugs. He's breaking in. It's still owned by that same family.
He's hitchhiking.
Oh yeah, okay, that's good.
Hitchhiking
hippies.
Needs to use. I think it makes more sense if a lot of this is because it's abandoned, because people stumble upon this. Because if you live there,
it's not abandoned anymore. It was bought by the guy with a traditional housewife, right?
Yeah, but that's the 50s guy. I'm saying, like, if a bunch of people buy it, it's going to be less, like...
Yeah.
Wouldn't they all use the restroom at some point?
Like
wouldn't they all be like, hey, people are disappearing from this house.
Like a house guest.
Right, a house guest, yeah. I guess it's technically all as this guy does the curse, everyone that's on the toilet at that time comes, right?
Mm-hmm.
In the circle of time.
And
we kind of need a guy masturbating on the toilet. At
the end, they could go back.
That?
At the end, they could go back to their times.
Right. So what about this war vet?
Was he masturbating?
We do need a masturbator. I'm not gonna lie. That's funny.
What if the masturbator's a woman?
Okay, he's gonna be masturbating.
Is the Vietnam vet masturbating? Oh, Jesus.
Why not?
Actually, it's probably funnier if it's somebody from more current era, because they have, like, YouTube and Pornhub, right?
Yeah.
Like, I think it's just more like... Oh, no, it's funnier if it's older, because they'll have, like, a porno mag. Porno mag guy. Porno mag in the woods. He's just looking for a place to jerk it. And he stumbles upon that.
Oh, okay, yeah. So they don't have a...
Wait, what if he's in a wheelchair?
They don't have a fence for this mansion.
Nicole wants the 70s guy to be in a wheelchair, like an
actual vet.
How can he just sneak onto a property in a wheelchair?
What's that?
He can't sneak onto a property in a wheelchair.
He could stumble upon it, though.
So, okay, the people that are in the house were the people that were 1950s.
The last people to own it would be 1950s housewife and executive type.
So why is the war vet there?
So, first they have to get rid of the house, right? They die or something.
No, I'm trying to think of another way. It could be like...
Because hippie dude has to sneak in and use the restroom.
Yeah, he can just sneak in. That's fine.
So why is the war vet there? Maybe just so we have continuing characters through the history. Executive war guy has them over or something. Maybe they're friends.
Yeah, so it's got to be... Yeah, maybe a party and his friend's son or something.
His friend's son, you said?
Yeah.
That's fine. That works.
Okay, now let's have him move this to the house again. What would you have invested in the 70s that would fall apart by the 80s?
What's a funny thing in the 70s?
The DeLorean.
DeLorean.
Now, I think that's a little too late. When did the DeLorean start?
Yeah, it's around that era.
Wikipedia.
Was it more 80s though? Early 80s?
Well, it would have fallen apart in the 80s,
Oh,
right?
I see what you're saying.
1981. But he could know the guy that was going to fund it. He says, this guy, I'm giving all my money to this guy DeLorean. He has some interesting ideas with cars. Because he is a car executive, right?
Right. That's good.
So that would make sense.
I don't know how you spell DeLorean. That looks right.
DeLorean.
That's what I put. Oh, nope, there it is. Alright, so you invest in the DeLorean. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, and apparently they only made it to 1982. So yeah, you lost a lot of money real quick. So you can put the next guy anytime in the 80s that buys the house.
What's that?
And what would he invest in? So somebody else has to buy the house now, someone in the 80s, right?
Yeah.
And what would he invest in? And you can put it anytime after 82, because that's when DeLorean sunk.
So, what would an 80s guy invest in that became useless later?
And wrong.
What is a company that just like... is there like a... anti-Atari or anti-video games thing?
Anti-video?
Like something that would oppose video games. Like, video games are awful for kids. We have this instead, you know?
Not really. Nothing I can think of.
I'm trying to think.
Nothing comes to mind.
What else is in the 80s was really big that nobody cares about now? Wasn't there like 8 tracks and stuff like that? Like CDs became big in the 90s.
Yeah, but I thought that was in the late 70s.
Not 8 tracks, but
Maybe
it was like
early 80s.
Well, it's 8 tracks, then cassettes, then CDs, right?
Let me see.
80s was still cassettes.
Let me look at 8 tracks. 80s were definitely... We had cassettes, man. That went to the
That was
mid-90s.
80s and 90s then.
Yeah. 8-track became before, but I don't know when.
There's something in between, though, like Laserdisc or something. You know what I'm saying? There was some big flop in between all this, where it was like a giant CD.
It's an 8-track. Oh, I
you know what I'm talking
that's
about?
too obscure.
It wasn't an 8-track, it wasn't a CD or a cassette tape, it was like a giant CD-looking thing.
1978 was the peak year for 8-tracks.
Okay. But what was that, Laserdisc? Was that what it's called?
Oh, that was, movies, I thought, but yeah. No, what else? Like mid-80s.
Oh, here we go. Laserdisc, sold and marketed, known as Disco Vision in 1978. Betamax. I think I might be thinking Betamax.
Oh, Betamax. Yeah, that could be. That was competing with VHS, right? That could work.
Was released in May 10 of 1975.
Yeah,
well, 1976
I
for
think
US.
they didn't live very long, so...
It continued till 2002 somehow.
Yeah, okay, it was pretty much dead, though.
Exactly. So Betamax is pretty good.
No, but when in the 80s did it die?
Eventually did gain some traction in the region, somewhat popular in the 1990s, was not popular in Europe.
Okay, no, it went pretty late.
Yeah. Betamax actually survived for quite a while. Somehow.
Huh.
Oh no, I was looking at something else. Hold on. Do you see what year Betamax went out? Into production. Wow, 2015? How the fuck? Who was buying Betamaxes in 2015? I guess you know what, when you think about it, there's like third world countries and stuff that probably buy older technology.
Blah, blah, blah. No, I think it went throughout most of the 80s. Reading. It looked like it was for a good portion of the 80s. I think we could do Betamax.
I think it's still
he's
funny.
He's a Betamax marketing executive saying he's going to make sure that he's going to put VHS out of business.
So this is the guy in the 80s that's what he invested in.
Yeah. Or he's a Betamax marketing executive, whatever.
I like Betamax executive buys house. Because it's such a like stupid tech, like VHS is made fun of nowadays. Like Betamax is just that much worse.
So who is gonna go back though? It's not gonna be him, is it?
I don't know. I'm just saying Betamax executive buys house. Who's funny to have from the 80s? You could have like the typical 80s like workout woman. You know what I'm talking about?
I was thinking this is gonna be another black guy.
Oh, from the 80s. Okay.
Or lady.
Black dude from 80s. Is that the Panther movement at that time?
No, that would have been in the 60s.
Was this Panthers 60s? Oh, yeah, that's right, because it was civil rights time. Duh. So, what would be good for the 80s? What's this dude do? That's silly. You there?
Yeah, I'm thinking.
Oh, okay,
I'm thinking.
okay. Just making sure. Let's see. Most popular job 1980 that have almost disappeared. That's pretty good. Knitting mills. What the fuck? Do you see what I'm looking at?
Yeah.
Metal miner.
Okay, these are normal things.
Yeah.
There's got to be something cultural.
Yeah. So far, these are like very
Dance instructor.
Okay. That's very 80s.
Right?
I like
He's
it.
gonna teach break dancing or 80s dancing.
I like it. Perfect. Dance instructor. That's perfect.
This could be a lady then, right?
What? What could be a
That
black
could be a
woman?
right? Yeah. I feel like that's a dance instructor thing.
That sounds good. 1990. We got a grunge dude.
It can be a grunge dude.
Grunge.
It'd be like mid 90s then.
Grunge dude, mid 90s. Knows about blowjobs and stuff.
What?
The 90s. What?
Okay.
90s and blowjobs, man. What? Could you think about how those connect?
Oh, okay. He's in the late 90s. That's the mid 90s.
Was that late? Was it 98?
I think it was late because it was.
Well, he got elected.
Clinton
What
on
was
his
it?
way out
94.
anyways, right?
Was he?
No, I think it's
90?
96. It's in his second term, right?
I don't remember.
Because I don't think he would have gotten a second term otherwise, but I don't know.
Oh, that's a good point.
The blowjob. Search for Lewinsky. I don't put the word blowjob in a Wikipedia article.
Because I also don't know how to spell. Well, Monica probably.
Began in 96.
Is when
I
it
feel
began.
like grunge is pretty well over by that point.
Yeah,
no?
98. Okay, so 94-ish.
Yeah.
Maybe he doesn't know when Kurt Cobain died in 93, I think.
Yeah, he could be bitching about that on the toilet when he goes.
94. Perfect.
94, that's good.
So he knows about Cobain. Why is he here? And why is he using a toilet? Because the previous person was a black dance instructor.
So the first one was in a dance instructor, so this can be
well,
that
the
guy's
Betamax
son,
executive
right?
bought the house. Why is the black woman there? Teaching the Betamax executive?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then, this could be that guy's son, right?
Okay. That makes sense. That actually makes perfect sense.
He could tell his dad that, making fun of his dad for how poorly Betamax turned out.
Okay. But aren't they poor and going to not have the house then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which leads you to 2000.
Okay. And what do we have in 2000?
So the dude that bought it could be, in the 90s, would be a .com guy.
Okay.
For sure.
So he actually was successful, though, so he had money.
Yeah, but in 2000 and whatever, he's wiping his ass with his stock certificates.
Could he be like...
He should have a ridiculous internet company.
Yeah.
Like,
and he's making fun of the, like, really popular ones.
Like Pets.com was the one that was one of the most ridiculous. We should have something even dumber that you would sell online.
Was Pets.com? You actually bought pets online?
No, like pet food online.
Oh, why is that ridiculous?
Oh, it was ridiculous that it got like hundreds of $1 billion valuation,
Oh,
and it was never
I see
making
what
money.
you're
It was
saying.
losing money like crazy. They put like a Super Bowl ad, and all they did was sell like pet food.
I see what you mean.
So, what would be like? What would you sell over the internet that would have sounded really ridiculous in 1990? Would even sound ridiculous today.
Water bottles.
Mm.
Actually, you probably buy those online on Amazon. That's the thing. You can buy.
It's got to be so super specific. Like, there's no way that can be a business that you can buy a mansion with.
In the year 2000. Okay. I'm trying to describe this, but like
Okay.
mounts for a phone. But obviously, the phones in 2000 were ridiculously sized. That's too very specific, though. I think.
No, that's too weird.
What's oddly specific though?
Forks.com.
What?
Forks.
Forks.
Forks. The guy sells forks on the internet.
Not even spoons, just forks.
Yeah, not spoons.
That's their slogan.
He should say, no, somebody already got the spoons.com domain.
Not spoons, just forks.
But forks are where it's at.
Everybody needs a fork.
Your next fork will be bought online.
Okay.
Oh, wait. He can say something stupid about Bezos for books. No one's going to buy a book online.
Who reads these days with the internet? I mean, obviously we have a lot of jokes with him about
Yeah.
websites. And then 2010, what about that one? We're getting into recent history.
Yeah, this is a little too recent. Let's see. Wall Street. What's the Occupy Wall Street person?
Okay. Is that funny, though? I feel like that's just, like, people that still live today. That's why it's hard to do 2010.
No, but the thing is, it turned out that I don't know where the whole thing went. What happened?
They no longer occupy the Wall Street.
Mm.
Right, and then we got... Is Occupy Wall Street, who is this? Why do they have a mansion or in a mansion?
So the .com guy lost all his money, right? So
Right,
it's got to be... Okay, Okay. He bought the house to flip, right?
Mm-hmm.
In the run-up to the 08 crash.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what turned him to a communist, obviously.
It's
got to be like...
now a commie.
Of course. Now, how did Average Joe get it?
A lot of those houses, they, like, fucked up when they, like, left, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he fucks up the house. No one wants to repair it.
Okay.
Average Joe comes in. Why does he have money to buy a mansion? Because it's still just, like, property, right?
Yeah.
Average Joe comes into money somehow, right?
I'm trying to think of some clever
He
way
doesn't
to...
necessarily have to... Well, he has to be the owner if he's going to it multiple times. I think he's just super...
You'd be the...
This isn't, like,
What's that?
that much of a mansion at some point, right?
I think he's the No, I think it's still... He's the contractor that will that's repairing it. For the new...
okay. He's not the one
the
actually...
new .com tenant.
What's that?
The new tech billionaire or millionaire that's buying it.
He's the contractor for that.
Yeah, repairing it.
Boom. And then we're to modern day.
Mm.
So we have our lead up. We have a lot of people that we have to throw at the woodwork with flashbacks and stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then what's the... Like, where do we go from there? Like, what's the end goal of the jokes? Like, how do we get to it?
I don't know. You got to get them into the room hanging out, right?
Right. I mean, that's obviously what we have to do. But what's the driving factor of the story?
Yeah. I mean, they would want to go back to their own time period.
Okay.
At least, I don't know. Some might not want to.
Right. That's true. That's kind of the clash, though. Some people want to go back, but like 1910 servant lady doesn't want to.
Yeah, and they can argue over just why to be sent back or what, you know. Blah, blah, blah.
People will be like, this Betamax is about to pop, man. I need to go back. Bam. Yeah, I think we have a good beginnings of this script.
Yeah, it's a start.
Yeah. I'm trying to think if there's anything else we want to like lock in before we end it. What's like any funny jokes we should definitely have in here?
Let me go back to your screen.
I like the fact that it's through an outhouse, though. That's perfect.
So somebody's got to take a selfie with a photo guy with an iPhone.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, there's a lot we can do with this many characters in a room.
Yeah, well, it's hard to have 12 people in one room.
Right, they have to be broken into groups.
Yeah.
And it'll probably be groups of people that are like, we want to go back. Groups of people like, we don't want to go back. Groups of people like the hippie who doesn't give a shit. He's just hanging out. He's there for the ride.
Yeah.
Alright, well, I think that's a good way to end it then. I think we got a good start.
Yeah. Alright.
We need a title.
That's a pretty good start.
Eventually.
Yeah, I don't know what to call that. The shitty dozen.
The shitty dozen. You can't use shitty
something
in a
with time
title
travel
for a movie.
in there.
12 Angry Turds.
No, I got nothing.
Alright, well, that's something we'll have to think about then.
Alright, let's call it.
Alright, later.
Alright, later.